Hello everyone, how are we all doing? Come on in, sit on down. It's time for another live Q&A. It's Wednesday already. It only feels like yesterday I was doing the live Q&A, maybe because I was late last week and I had to do it on Friday, but still it feels like it should feel like it was longer, much longer than it was. Time really is flying. I feel like I'm blinking, and I'm going to be 40 before I know it, and I'm 33 soon in a couple of months, so that's going to come up fast. I can already feel it. But yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be here on the eclectic show, which is the live Q&A. Something a bit different than my usual stuff. Something where I kind of just randomly rant about things and topics that have come across my desk and ideas and concepts which you wouldn't otherwise hear me talk about. Here we are, and thanks to everybody in the Truth or Therapy, the Telegram. I'm getting mixed up here. A lot of T's in my my world here. But in the Telegram group, people have been giving me ideas of things to discuss, and I'm open to having a Q&A at the end of this for the last hour, where we can kind of maybe broach a few random things which maybe I haven't planned to talk about. So have those questions ready. If you've got any, guys, throw them in. Maybe wait till I'll be looking at the chat after the presentation, maybe just after the break, halfway through. At people's requests, I will be playing some of my own music on today's break. And no, I'm not really like an avid musician where you can go find my music on Spotify and follow or anything. I have a few sound files from a life I left behind, a past where I had dreams of being a big musician with a band and all that kind of stuff. And as that tapered off, I recorded a few songs as I was going through my awakening change, shall we say, before becoming fully born again, which I can share with you guys, a bit of backstory, a bit of insight. And today's going to be quite a retrospective show because I uncovered some old videos I created when I was at university, and I found an old archive of them, and they're going to be very pertinent to today's topic, which is going to be about the lines we see in the sky. Now, I've got to be very careful about how I talk about this. I still don't think I can actually talk about this topic without getting either unsuitable for advertisement red markers on the video, or perhaps a banner at least at the bottom telling you the official story. But this is the irony. The official story has changed, and we're going to get into this today, and we're going to talk about this topic as we go on. But I also have some other things I want to talk with you guys too as well. I found some articles broaching again on the robotics and AI topic. There's been a new AI robotic attack which has just happened recently, which I want to just quickly share with you guys and go over. But there's also some worldly nonsense I want to show you about what the fashion industry is up to these days, which is always a good laugh and always something to look into as well. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag this morning, this afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this, wherever you are in the world. It's late in the evening for me, but I'm going to be discussing some odd, seemingly unconnected things before opening it up to the Q&A with you guys. So I hope you're ready for that. Before I start, I'll say a quick hi to everyone. We've got Culticon here. He says honk honk. Thanks for being here, Connor. I appreciate it. We've got Pearl in the house. We got David. We got Guillermo. Thanks for being here. We got Stacia. We got Elizabeth in the house. We've got Little Season Fellowship. Pepe's here as usual. Lots of familiar faces. Thanks for being here, guys. Yeah, it should be a good show. Should be a good show. Like I said, I'm winging it like always. There's never a script, just a loose bunch of tabs I'm going to do a running commentary on. So that's all that's going to happen, okay? I have not pre-planned anything I'm about to say and never have. I've actually, just to let you guys know, I have just come off of a show with Carmen Struder. She has a YouTube channel where she goes into all sorts of topics conspiracy related and some stuff about SRAs in there as well. And she invited me on to talk about the Nephilim clowns, but it really was more of a conversation about being a YouTuber, which was quite interesting, about being in the conspiracy game, with a few clown talk thrown in there. Nothing you've probably not already heard, but there's quite a lot of stuff in that which you may not have heard before, and different takes and opinions on certain things, which I enjoyed the conversation. She might even be in the chat now for all I know. She said she'd pop in over immediately afterwards. I think it was live on her channel as well, so it is ready to go and listen to now if you want to go listen to it after this. I'll find the links and I'll put it in the description afterwards, but I've not checked, to be honest. But I think it said live. I don't think it was pre-recorded, but either way, I'll ask her if I can share it on my channel later down the line if you don't catch it on hers as well. So there we go. Yeah, that's where I've been. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing the show a bit later than usual. Normally I do it a couple of hours earlier than this, but like I said, Wednesdays are my evenings to jump on a podcast with other people and try and get some other things done behind the scenes for you guys. I've got Whosoever here says, "What's up, Paul?" Not much. You know, I'm pretty good. Pepe, subcult leader. Yeah, everyone's all hugging each other. Seagata says, "Just saw your second pod with Tripoli. It was fire. Thanks." To be honest, I did that like a few weeks ago, and I don't think it was my best work, to be honest. I thought it was more of just a laugh and a conversation. I feel like I may have rushed a few points more than I usually do. It's exactly how I felt when I first talked to Sam about the clowns. Like, I should have said more. I had so much more to say and I didn't say it, but he seemed to enjoy it. I've heard he's been talking a lot about the little season since that conversation, but I haven't followed it or kept up with it myself. But yeah, I think it was a fun conversation, that's for sure. And I've had that kind of lined up to share with you guys for a while, and yesterday I just needed a video, so I just threw it out there, and it's blown up. It's on like 12,000 views or something within like 24 hours. People really enjoyed that one, so I've had a lot of positive feedback for that show. Thank you, I appreciate it, guys. I think that may be my last major podcast visit where I just solely focus on the little season, to be honest. So there you go. You've seen it yourself. That's it. I will be doing podcast visits talking about all sorts of things. Don't get me wrong, including the clowns, but maybe other topics as well. I might broach the little season here and there. But in terms of just me doing full-blown presentations on that topic now in podcasting format, I think I've done as much as I'm going to do. And I'm going to take a bit of a break. And I'm just going to let it sit now, let the seeds germinate and grow, and let's just see what happens in the world now the idea's out there. I think there are plenty of wonderful people who are carrying on and just doing more of the same work, excellent work they've already been doing, who are more than capable of carrying this themselves and going with it. And I'm going to sit back and enjoy watching to see what happens with this as it goes. Because like I said, I'm still all in. I'm still a believer. I've done no change on my opinion on this. But yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to see what's going to happen now. But I'm going to try and focus on other things and other topics, as you can tell with this live Q&A. But there we go, guys. I'm glad you enjoyed that Sam Tripoli talk. And go check out the one I just did with Carmen Struder if you haven't already. Peace and blessings, fellow Little Season Warriors for Christ, says Virtual Reality Witness. Quick message to you, Virtual Reality Witness. The book's turned up today, and you did order one, a signed copy. So I'll get that signed out and out to you first thing tomorrow morning. So that should be coming sooner than I thought anticipated. They turned up earlier than they told me. If you guys want a signed copy of the Nephilim Look Like Clowns, I've got a fresh batch of like 6 hardcovers and 5 paperbacks. So if you want one, email me at understandingconspiracy@gmail.com and we can get that arranged. So there we go. Sit back and watch it burn, my wife says. Yeah, well, we'll see. There's some good people out there in the Little Season community. There are some people out there who, I'm not going to disparage them or name names or anything, but I do question sometimes the directions or what it is they're actually trying to do with the topic sometimes. I don't know, and I'm that's just speculation on my behalf. I'm just going to watch. We'll see. We'll see what happens, eh? Either way, the truth stands on its own, no matter who's telling it. The truth is the truth, So as long as the seeds are being planted, it's all good. Hey, Paul, God bless, brother. Your podcast with Sam Tripoli was epic, man, says Jeff. Thank you. Virtual Reality, you got my message there. Good. That's good to know. Brandy Muller says, love your videos. Thanks, Brandy. Like I said, today's going to be a bit haphazard. I'm going to string together as much as I can and say as my piece on these matters as best I can. But let's just get straight into it. So it's no mystery. I'm late to the game. I usually do this. I don't cover things as they just come out. I usually let them sit for a bit and just see what the overall reactions are. But the UK government, our Labour government, has announced that they have pumped £70 million into a government-funded organisation called ARIA, and they are basically going to begin soon experimentations on spraying aerosols into the atmosphere in the hopes to dim the sun and reflect back as much light as possible in order to reduce CO2. Now, doesn't that sound familiar? Doesn't that sound familiar? And this is personal, because you guys don't know this, but when I first started really waking up in like 2011, 2012, still very much in my new agey type, Gnostic-y, Eastern philosophical, everything can be explained through psychology type of mindset, you know. Not before I was saved, before I was born again. It was this topic of something or other, you know. Can't say it. I've got to beat around the bush. But it was this particular topic that really got me, like, to the core. This one scared the crap out of me. Like, thinking about the concept that they could do such a thing and have the ability and the scalability to make such a thing happen, to possibly even control the weather like God, and utterly decimate such an enormous expanse above my head with precise control and organization, scared me to my core. And it's the not knowing what that thing is above my head and what the effects it could have on me physically and my family and us as a people that really got me. It was the fear of the unknown and the fear of seeing people not really pay attention to it as well. All of it got me. It really got me. It rattled me. And I didn't want to believe it. And I was very much a part of like these crazy conspiracy theories out there believing in this kind of stuff. Oh, I'm going to psychologically understand their mindset. It is fascinating to watch these people think and how they jump to their wild conclusions. And then by the end of all my research into that and by the end of my studies and my following of people and talking in interviews, I became a full-blown conspiracy theorist. I was all in. I was like, no, this is actually real. This is true. This is not something I have to understand through psychological means or these people are crazy or something. No, they know it. They know something and they're paying attention. It's just a shame that they look like nut jobs who have no idea how to present this information reasonably. But they're not. It's the right information in the wrong hands. They're not wrong. They're just crazy. It's kind of, and I realized that very quickly. I was like, no, this is really happening. Like this is, and it's a real science called geoengineering, and it's been actively done already in many places and has been for a long time, and it's not even actually hidden from us. You're just not allowed to talk about it, and if you do talk about it, you get called crazy publicly by public officials, and they just pretend it's not happening when they're telling you it's happening through the companies who are doing this and performing these sciences. So it's kind of, it's such a weird topic. Like, it's obviously happening. Just look up. You talk about it and everyone says, no, it's not happening. You're nuts. You're crazy. And that's when I really realized just how all-encompassing and pernicious and evasive and psychologically damaging the conspiracy in general is. And just how, well, the word is brainwashed people are. That's what they are. They've been literally so conditioned that they cannot physically see what's right in front of their eyes on an enormous scale. And I realized there's this whole thing, isn't it? It's like, if you're going to tell a lie, make it a big one. And this is so big, nobody can believe the truth. And I get it, because I was terrified to accept that it was happening and to believe it. I was so scared. And I would go outside in fear of what's above my head. I know that feeling. And I know there are still people out there who still feel that, who might have just heard it for the first time and are falling into it. And I have such empathy for those people, because I get how absolutely, like, shit your pants scary this particular one is. Like, it is, you know, and I'm sorry, like, for my language, but I need to emphasize the point here. And it's been a long time since I realized this one. It's been a long time, and I've become numb to it. I'm passive about it now. I'm done with it. I've moved on. There's nothing I can do to change it. It's happening whether I like it or not. I just have to make the best of the situation and just not bring it up or talk about it or point them out anymore or obsess over them, because my life will be destroyed if I do, and I'll get nothing done. You know, I kind of came to terms with the horrible reality that they're quite literally spraying stuff into the very air we breathe, and you go down the facets of this, down the angles of this, and you realize, oh, well, it's heavy metal particles, it's reflective particles, it's extremely conductive metal particles, but also some other strange things are being found through individual tests and surveys that have been done on samples that have come down. And it's kind of like there's something in this, like a biotechnology, which, when rejected by the human body, is something we call morgellons disease. I'm probably not allowed to say that either. I don't know, by the way, what the consequences of me speaking about this will be in a roundabout way, like I'm doing. I'm trying my best here, but there's stuff about, like, and this is the annoying thing. They are publicly announcing they're actually doing this now to us. And I still don't know what I'm allowed to say. I still don't know where I stand on this, because you're not allowed to talk about this. You are not allowed. But as long as I don't say what it is and leave it ambiguous enough, maybe I'll get away with it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe this episode will have to get taken down and put into the annals of Patreon or something. Maybe this will be podcast only in the end. A Spotify exclusive. I don't know, but either way, this one's scary. Okay, and that particular disease of threads bursting out of people's skin, self-replicating nanotechnological threads. It's actually that. It really is that. It responds to stimuli and electromagnetic stimuli. Like, you couple with that idea and you're thinking about it, it's like, what if they're not poisoning us, which is a very real possibility, but probably not the case. I think my wife makes it clear there's easier ways to poison us all. like just put it in the water. That's all she said. Like, why don't you just put it in the water if they were trying to kill us all? Like, there's better ways. Like, so if it isn't that, then if it's not that, then they're trying to wire us up with something and turn us into half human, half machine hybrids. That's terrifying. What for? To what end? How will we, once this thing becomes symbiotic with our nervous system that's growing inside our bodies, how will that react to signals and other things I'm not allowed to talk about? You know, they kind of look like this, but they're on a massive scale and 30 foot tall. You know, figure out what I said there and figure out for yourself. But what's going on here? We're becoming receivers of some kind on a macroscopic nanotechnological basis. Like, that's terrifying to think about as well. And then on top of that, okay, well, if it's not that, then they can control the bloody weather. What do you do then? They can make anything happen at any time whenever they want, in conjunction with another particular technology which is named after the instrument angels play. Okay, you guess what I'm talking about there. So you mix those things together and it's kind of like, this is like a seriously messed up, all-encompassing, huge one. This is a big one. Like, and you can see it every day happening to us. And the UK government has the balls to announce, oh, worth putting millions of pounds into funding a private company to start testing this brand new technology for the first time. But we won't start testing it until we put safeguards in place. Acting like they haven't already been doing this for at least a decade. Pretending like this has not been the case. When the public records are already out that companies have been doing this for decades. They've been doing it for decades. The public just aren't allowed to point that out. If we show the patents, we show the company records, we talk about it publicly and say this company is literally doing this and paying taxes while they're at it, you get shut down, you get silenced. But now our government is saying, we're going to be doing it soon and we're going to dim the sun. And guess what? It's to save your life. It's to cool the planet down. It's to reduce carbon. We're doing it to help you. And all I can think is, you vicious, smarmy bastards. Who do you think you are? We're not stupid. Like, yeah, but they treat us like 5-year-olds, don't they? And I cannot believe it. I cannot believe the brazen. I can't believe it. they're actually saying publicly now, we're going to dim the sun to save your life by spraying aerosols and reflected particles and heavy metals into the atmosphere through geoengineering. It's a brand new science. We're just going to test it. Don't worry, we'll make sure it's safe. It's like, you bastards. Like, what the hell? So now the public know about it. And are they going to apologize for calling us crazy? No, they're not. Because you read these articles. Let's get an article up here, for example. Let's just get an article up, right? And I'll show you the level of conversation this has sparked within, let's call them the uninitiated, those who are just not aware of anything, you know, who just have not even thought once of that there could even be a conspiracy. Let's just look at what those type of people are actually saying, shall we, when they read an article telling them their government's going to start spraying poison above their heads. This is the deep cuts you get from the general populace, okay? And it doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth, I'm not going to lie. So here's an old article basically explaining everything I've already said, trying to reach the Paris Agreement, climate change, blah, 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 blah. Literally showing you a photo here of what they're going to do. They're also going to release particles from boats to create more reflective clouds, apparently. That's what they're going to do. And then the concerns... Well, the concerns aren't really real concerns. Trying to say, well, all you're really doing is just dealing with the symptoms and not trying to fix the main problem. So their concerns are buying into the nonsense of the climate change, global warming agenda. It's kind of like, we need to tackle the sources of the global warming, not putting band-aids on it by using this totally legit scientific method. That's it. There's not enough internal legislation. Other countries who, now this in the UK do it, other countries who aren't quite as good as us are going to try and do it and maybe mess it up, you know. Those type of concerns are what you're getting. Open the floodgates to other countries that may have fewer controls. Really, those are your concerns? Anyway, comments say, ARIA is exempt from freedom of information requests. So you'd never get the truth even if you tried. Dark times ahead. I mean, that's okay. Fair enough. The Earth is currently in a major ice age. Blah, 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 blah. Millions of years nonsense talk. This is a redone of the blank. Scientists acting recklessly. Okay, yeah, fair enough. But still no realization yet that this has already been happening, right? And they're just telling you they're doing it now. Romans grew vines in North England. This was a warm period. So nothing to do with CO2. So the basic people are saying, oh, no, like, we don't need to do any of this because we're actually going through a warm period right now, not a cold front. So there's nothing to worry about. We don't need to reflect the sun. It's kind of like, you aren't going to talk about the moral, ethical implications of injecting poisons into the atmosphere. You're going to argue about the science semantics of global warming and climate change in the comments. And that's all the comments are. Obviously, none of the real people who know what's going on are going to have their comments allowed to get through. It's like, but this is a good one. Doing something that will affect everybody without anybody's permission. Trying to play God has always worked out well. That's probably the hottest, most closest to the truth take I've seen on this. Like, if you want to call it that. And again, it's like tinkering around the edges will never solve the issue. Identifying the root cause and fixing that is the only way to fix a problem. Unfortunately, the 1% mega rich and the overpowerful cohorts do not want to fix this. They need the chaos to keep us lesser mortals in our places. It's like, that's not as hot as a take as you think it is. That's not that deep. Like, what do you think the major issue is that needs fixing? So you think they're justified in spraying these things because there's a real problem that needs fixing, which is climate change. And you think the 1% rich class, so this is probably a socialist mindset, the us against them type of thing, the proletariat, against the bourgeoisie type mind. It's not the mega rich that are doing this to us, it's satanic cabals. There's a difference. Absolute quackery, time, money, resource, and effort in a half-hearted attempt at dealing with the consequences rather than allocating the same resources at the actual source of the problems and deal with the issues there. not allow them to continue and try to deal with the fallout. Utter nonsense. So James BBC here is a climate alarmist activist who says we need to do something more extreme and stop what we're doing to cause the problems rather than putting a band-aid on it. It's kind of like not addressing the major issue here. What are they actually doing with these things? The whole climate change thing is bollocks. It's nonsense. It's a lie. It's just made up. It isn't real. It's a means to justify their ends. It's an ends to justify their means, shall we say. But no one person in these comment sections is ever going to point that out. They're never going to care about it. They're never going to know. No, they're not interested. They're too busy having the surface level outrage comments about climate change. Yeah. Not impressed. More depressing to see these things. But the gall of these people to show the pictures we've been showing for years, and now it's okay because they're talking about it. But I bet if we keep talking about it, we're also going to get problems still. I think maybe it's still not quite 100% okay in some way, but it's pissed me off a little bit, guys. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm saying because this is personal for me. This really is personal for me. So if I quickly just check here, if I switch this back, like I said, I made this old video a long time ago. Like this is a long time ago. I have to just pause that sound. And it was about drone strikes and all sorts of things at the time. But I ended up going... So some backstory here. I ended up reaching out to a group called the Lincolnshire Anti-Weather Modification Group on Facebook. That's what you did back then. You tried to find people through Facebook groups. You know? And I found this Lincolnshire Anti-Weather Modification... Because I was living in Lincolnshire at the time, in Lincoln, studying for my degree. And I found a guy who ran the thing called Peter. And I was talking to him, and he says, we're doing an activist day, a chemtrail awareness day in Grimsby, of all places, on the coast. And I've never been there before. I don't know anything about the place. So I was like, can I come along and just watch? You know, I'm interested in this whole conspiracy stuff and the mindset of a conspiracy theorist and what it means to be an activist in the modern day as a subject matter for my artwork, you know. And I was there as like a pretentious art student observer to see how conspiracy theories behave in the wild, thinking I was some kind of David Attenborough of conspiracy theories, you know. And it's like, well, I'm not proud of who I was. I don't think that way now. It's cringeworthy nonsense, you know what I mean? I don't see it that way anymore. This is before I fully clicked and woke up and realized, damn, they're right. It's all real type of stuff. But I made this video as like an art piece. But to do that, I went out and filmed the activist day. And Pete, you know, it was funny. He had this big sign saying research chemtrails, and it was going around kind of like showing it in places. And I'll share that screen with you now just so you can see this. But let me share screen. So here's the video, and I'll just play it as I'm talking. Yeah, so you see, you know, he's really happy. And we're giving out leaflets and all sorts of things, trying to make everyone aware of this thing. So this is like 2011, I think, or something like that. You know, this is a long time ago. And here he is handing out leaflets to a random bunch of people. And he's getting funny looks, people laughing at him, all sorts of stuff, you know. But he didn't care. He kept his head up high and smiles. Look, he's pointing to them. Like, he's pointing it out to people. And here he is walking up to BBC Radio Humberside. Now, there's a story behind this I'm going to share with you guys now. It's in this video. But here he is looking all proud and holding his sign in front of them. And if I can just pause this here, I'm going to move it along a bit. That's an interview with somebody. And I think it's here is when the audio kicks in.
This is from Tom. He's in Sleaford. Something to annoy poor Hudson with. I think that chemtrails have been mentioned on the weather slot before, and Paul got a bit agitated. The very misguided chemtrail believers in Lincolnshire are holding an awareness day. These are the people that believe that persistent aircraft contrails are nothing to do with atmospheric conditions, but are actually spraying chemicals for so-called geoengineering.
Well, they're just crackpots, aren't they? I mean, that's a considered opinion as well.
Is that a considered opinion? Crackpots.
Crackpots.
Contrails.
Get them on. Why don't you get them on, Peter? You know, this one keeps hounding me and sending me emails, but there's absolutely no scientific.
I think we've got
basis
better
for
things
what
to
they
do
say.
here.
Well, no, I think it might be quite entertaining.
Dear chemtrails,
Why don't you go down there and do a feature for Look North?
be very, very careful.
Did you hear that? Shall I play it again? Yeah, forget the video. You don't need the video. Let's just do the audio. Shall we listen to what he just said? Let me pull that back a little bit. Let's replay the video. See if I can find it.
These are the people that believe that persistent aircraft contrails are nothing to do with atmospheric conditions, but are actually spraying chemicals for so-called geoengineering.
Well, they're just crackpots, aren't they?
We're just crackpots. What did our government just announce that they're going to be doing? Are we still crackpots now? Is he going to apologise for what he said about us before we turned up to that day? Probably not. Do you think he's changed his mind and suddenly a believer now? He's like, oh, those people were right that I ridiculed 14 years ago. What do I know? Well, who knew? Like, it turns out they weren't crazy. And what else does he say here? Let's listen.
I mean, that's a considered opinion as well.
Is that a considered opinion? Crackpots.
Crackpots.
Contrails.
Get them on. Why don't you get them on, Peter? You know, this one keeps hounding me and sending me emails, but there's absolutely no scientific.
I think we've got
basis
better
for
things
what
to
they
do
say.
here.
There's absolutely no scientific basis behind what they're saying. Is that right? There's absolutely no scientific basis behind what they are saying. Absolutely no scientific basis behind what they are saying. They're just crackpots. Anyway, this is the type of stuff we were up against back in the day. This is why it's personal to me, because the person who's hounding him and sending him emails was Peter. He was that guy with the sign. He was passionate. He was serious about it. He was like, we're coming. You should cover it. We want to get coverage. We want to talk about this. We want to get to a wider audience. And that's what BBC Radio Humberside had to say about the situation. And there's, like you said, you saw Peter with this sign in front of the place after the fact, after being ridiculed on the radio, saying, it doesn't exist. That's not real. They're crackpots. There's no scientific basis behind any of it. There's no such thing. And now our government, our UK government today, is telling us it's a real thing and we're going to start trialing it soon to dim out the sun, to reduce the sun, to reduce carbon in the atmosphere. And there you go. That's why this is personal to me, guys. I don't feel vindicated because I already knew I was right. We all knew we were right. We know we're not crazy, but it's kind of just, even if we still brought it up to people now, even after this article coming out and the government announcing this, they'll still call us crazy. I bet they will. I bet they'll still say it's nuts. And no way are they actually doing that. No chance. Because it's too big of a concept for many people to get their minds around. And it's too scary. It's way too terrifying. And it crosses so many lines and boundaries about people's comforts in life, of where do we actually stand in terms of power when they can control the weather like this. And it really makes people feel small and insignificant and under the thumb. And it opens a huge can of worms in the minds of those who hear these type of things, to the point where they'll still deny it exists because it's easier. Because it's easier. So that's kind of my current take on all of this. I'm not happy about it. And, they say they're going to start trialing it soon, but they've already been doing it for well over a decade. Well over a decade. It's already an established, they're already doing it. So it's nothing new to me. It's no different. It's still, tomorrow's still just going to be another Thursday. Nothing's going to change, because I kind of already internalized it all. I've already accepted it as a reality, and there's nothing I can certainly do to stop it. I don't know what we can do to stop this collectively. I really don't. And I wish I wasn't so negative. I don't know what we can possibly do. because it's such a compartmentalized problem with many people at many levels who probably don't even know what they're doing. Like, who do you go for to stop this? Who do you blame? And now it's kind of like, well, we have to do this because the planet's dying, because it's heating up. And if we don't do it, we'll die. You don't want us to die, do you? You know, it's kind of, first it wasn't real, and now it's, no, we're doing it to save your life, you know. Typical gaslighting, narcissistic behavior, isn't it? That's all our government is. It's just a narcissism conglomerated into a government entity monster of some form. That's all the government is. It's just a narcissist, a giant non-corporeal narcissistic entity. Gaslighting goes all the way, and they have their the flying monkeys, the BBC, to keep it up. To keep up the gaslighting and the propaganda. Yeah, not happy with it. We'll see. I mean, I remember watching, was it Sargon of Akkad? You know, the guy who does the podcast of the Lotus Eaters now and this type of thing. And I was listening to him, as I occasionally do, because he's a British voice who gives me the normie news, shall we say, and the hot takes from a normie perspective. And he's not a conspiracy theorist, but even he was like, reading this article, is like, what the hell? Like, this is ridiculous. The UK produces nothing in terms of any form of like carbon, whatever, like 0.5% of the total global issue, as he would describe it. You know, why are we the ones that are blocking out the sun when we literally get about 10% of sun every year hitting our ground? Like, we already don't get any sun here. What difference is it going to make to block out any more for us? He can't fathom it around his mind, like, why these people are doing this, and his conclusions are like, the morons. They're literally just idiots. They're just really dumb people who are trying to virtue signal on such a grand scale that to the detriment of everybody around them, that they don't really understand that they're killing us. And I'm like, that is such a stupid take, man. They know what they're doing. They are trying to do something to us. I don't know about killing us or not. I don't know what it is. But it's like, they're not idiots. They know exactly what they're doing. They're just telling you they're doing it now. That's it. Like, they're just telling you the what it looks like. Right now, the ends that they're telling us are still a lie. It's not to reduce CO2 or whatever. It's for something else. They're doing something else. I've had many theories over the years. Many. Like, I don't know. One of my favorite ideas, if you want to call it that, just, you know, like a favorite concept, is that maybe they're making a giant LCD screen in the sky, so they really can make a convincing display of it when that fake alien invasion needs to kick off. You know, they can make all sorts of stuff look like it's happening up there. They can maybe, one of my latest theories, like, this one's wild, but what if the sky we have today isn't the real sky? It already is a huge giant screen projection, and none of it's real. Like, and because tribulation already happened, the sky is just a complete mess. And the stars are no longer there or anything. It's all, but what they've done is, they're every day and night they're projecting a daytime and a nighttime with a false sun and a false moon and everything. And they have to maintain it by keeping up this stuff they're putting in the atmosphere. Satan has to maintain it. And it's not even planes doing it. They just look like planes because that's the holographic cloak they've got around them. It's actually like angels doing this to us and just maintaining the show, you know what I mean? Like, keeping up the illusion that we're still in this time period where we have a sun and a moon and stars and all this sort of, but we don't. Like, we do one day when that just screen gets turned off, we're going to really see what's up there, and it's going to completely totally blow our minds. That's one of my latest crazy schizo theories. I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea. Who knows why? Like, and I think we've come to the conclusion, like, so far, I don't think it's to kill us. It's something else. It's something more mechanistic, I think. It's like a more of a tool or a mechanical purpose. That's my working, running theory so far. It's for something else. It's in tandem with other things, like that instrument technology I mentioned earlier. You know, and there are benefits, side benefits, like controlling the weather and stuff, but I don't think that's the main end goal. I think that's just, like I said, a positive, unintended, or perhaps intended consequence of using it. You know what I mean? Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, Wendy's mentioning Chicken Little, the sky is falling, and like literally, and the latest rendition, a panel falls out from the false sky. It's like a panel, like that's got like a Hollywood light on it or something like that, like the Truman Show, you know. I think maybe something like that. But in the end, it was actually a panel from underneath an alien ship. So space alien, false alien invasion, projection, holographic sky. It's all kind of in that one thing, you know. Yeah, that's a good shout out there, Wendy. I remember that. The microdosing us, Paul. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. Like, and I've heard every idea under the sun. I really have. And it's tough. It's tough to make a choice, really. I think it's more technological and mechanical in nature. I think it serves a greater purpose we're just not aware of in the grand scheme of things. Their grand scheme of things, you know. I'm not sure though, and I'm open to keeping all possibilities on the cards here. The sun is different. If the sky was always clear, more people would notice strange happenings. I believe too, the sun is moving off its original course, says Biological Android. Interesting take. Maybe. It seems like people say they're doing it because they're hiding something up there. But it's kind of like they move so fast that they're not going to do a very good job of hiding things. And from someone else's angle, a few hundred miles away, that particular mass is not going to block anything, you know. So I don't know if it's to hide stuff up there. I don't really know what the purpose is. A lot of explanations fall short when you really think about them, like the hiding stuff thing, because perspective would change what the ability to hide things. I just don't know. I mean, it could be that they're trying to dim the sun to cause a mini ice age to create the illusion that climate change is real, to justify the next step in policy changes that are going to come for our own benefit, more political in nature, geopolitical in nature, perhaps. I couldn't tell you. I wish I had answers. I know it's not fun, but I can speculate till the end of the day with this one. But it's kind of like I've been doing this for, like I said, like 14 years since that video, and I still don't know. I still don't know. And like I said, you tell me. Like, what do you think is going on with that? I just couldn't tell you. So there we go, guys. A bit of past, a bit of history, a bit of something that I used to do there, a bit of an old video that, you know, I don't use for anything. It's not anything. It's just something I found in an old archive. I'm not the same man I was when that was created. Like, I wasn't even a believer in conspiracies then. I was just intrigued by conspiracy culture and wanted to meet the people. But now I'm like like they convinced me it's real. And obviously the Mayan calendar stuff was kind of kicked off at that time as well, which really sparked my interest, you know. But this topic, this particular one, was my first real, tangible, big example of they're doing stuff to us, man. Like, you know, that first wake-up moment, the big, scary one. There was many other revelations that came afterwards, but this was the first one for me. So now to feel like 14 years later that my own government is telling us they're doing it to us and they're going to start doing it to us, it's kind of like, you gaslighting pieces of shit. Like, I'm not happy that they've there's no video. I'm sad. I'm sad that the reaction is terrible. It's flaccid. No one cares. Everyone's just getting on with the day. And it's kind of, there's no feeling of vindication for me whatsoever here. And I'm going to go on with the rest of my life watching this unfold, probably still knowing nothing can be done about this. Like, 'cause I don't even know to what scale this is happening or to what level spiritual forces are involved. It's still a scary topic. You know, but no fear. You know, no weapons formed against us shall prosper. As long as you stay strong in your faith and have the full armor of God, you should be fine. You know, and again, they may take our bodies, but they can't take our souls. And that's all we can hold steadfast in at the end of the day and walk uprightly in faith and go through this world not living in fear, which is something I learned, you know, when I was born again. And the fear of chemtrails disappeared after I found faith in Christ, realizing these things are fleeting moments. There's nothing new under the sun. They are the attempts at weak, fearful men to play God in the hopes that they can save themselves from the judgment that's coming against them at the end of the day. And all they need to do is repent and come to Christ themselves. And they will truly be saved. But until then, they're gonna keep doing these silly things, aren't they? And all we can do is look after one another, love one another, live righteously as best we can, and wait till the end, and let God separate the wheat from the tares in the end, and leave it to them. Vengeance is His, not ours. So that's all we can do. And I realized that once you realize that perspective, it's kind of, the fear does pass away. Because there are people out there who are like, we need a revolution. We need to go out and kill people and hang people and do these type of things. We got to take action to our own mind. We've got to revolt. It's kind of like, you don't know people. You don't know what level, to what extent they were truly involved in any of this in terms of compartmentalization. You could end up just murdering innocent people. It's not the answer. It's not the way you do things. And you have to realize, no, this world is fallen. It's corrupt. It's possibly the little season of Satan. There are things that are just out of our control. There are just things we are not going to be able to stop. Okay? They've already been doing this for at least a decade. At least. Possibly 3, maybe 2. I don't think cirrus clouds even existed in cloud books until the 90s. And now suddenly they're a cloud that exists. And we all need to accept it as a real thing that just happens to happen at high stratospheric conditions at the right temperatures. Yeah, sure. So yeah, there we go. I'm going to take a break, guys. Then we'll come back to some other topics. We'll talk about some other things. We'll cover some more light-hearted things. Robots going wild. Fashionistas just being themselves, I suppose. And we're going to talk about therapy, another topic close to my heart, I suppose, with my own truth of therapy sessions, and how people are turning to AI for their therapy. But for the break, guys, I'm going to play you one of my own songs. It's an old one, again. I need to pull up my archives here to find them. I think you all enjoyed New Age Hippie at the end of the last one, didn't you? That one's one of my personal favourites, if I do say so myself. But I do have some other old songs here from a long time ago. I have no idea how to find them. Tracks. There we go. So I'm going to try and find these things. Nope, that's not it. Let's just try this one. There we go. And yeah, I'm going to play you... Not, by the way, not all these songs are Christian. They're not. They're just me, as I used to sing maybe just before I was saved, coming out of the New Age world, learning about conspiracy stuff, but not quite accepting Christ yet. Kind of just in that realm. You know what I mean? Like, and I was making a lot of music during that time. Still thinking maybe I could be like a famous musician or something. Not quite realizing fully the corruption yet of the system and how it all works. So I did make these songs, and I don't know which one to play for you, so I'm going to pick a random one here. And funnily enough, I called this album Spider Webs Above Our Heads Demo Album. I think you know what I was referencing there. But let's start with a cover. Let's do a cover of Kings of Leon's Closer. So here it is, guys. I'm going to play this one for you. King of Leon, Closer. And this is my personal cover.
Stranded in the smoky town, stoplights are swaying and the phone lines are down. This floor is crackling cold. She took my heart, I think she took my soul. With the moon I roam, far from this carnage of the fiery sun. And it's coming closer, driven by the strangle of vain. you keep on crying, baby, I'll bleed you dry. These skies, they blink at me. I see the storm bubbling up from the sea. Oh, oh, oh. And it's coming closer. Oh, 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 oh. And it's coming closer. You shimmy shook my bones, leaving me stranded all in love on my own. Now do you think of me? Where am I now? And baby, where do I sleep? Feel so good, but I'm old. These 2,000 years of chasing, taking its toll. Oh, 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 oh. And it's coming closer. Oh, oh, oh. And it's coming closer. And it's coming closer.
It's true. It's...
I have no idea what that was at the end. But there you go, guys. A random cover of Kings of Leon, Closer. I wonder what was actually coming closer. Because now I listen back to that song, it sounded pretty ominous, didn't it? maybe the guy who wrote that knew something we didn't know. I have no idea. But yeah, there's a little break for you guys. Just having a quick drink of water. And I'm going to jump into the chat for a little second and just see what people are saying. The boy has soul. Love the music. Jesus is king. Songs about vampires. I don't know. Definitely soul. Not too shabby. I like it. So people like the music. Great. That's good to know. Maybe I'm considering picking up the older guitar again. It's right here. The same guitar it was played on is right in this case here. Finding some time during the day when people are awake, or maybe I have some time alone in the house to make some more music again. It's been a while. You know, I left that life behind, guys. I was jaded with everything. It's kind of life took over, you know, and then the dreams of being a musician faded into the past. And here I am a decade later thinking maybe I should pick it back up and write another song. Who knows? But I do have some more music to play for you guys before this show is done. And I'll throw a couple more out there maybe as I take intermittent breaks. We're almost an hour in, so we've got plenty of time. But I do have a few more of my own personal songs that I actually wrote myself to share with you as well. What have we got here? I'm a little late to the show. I'm 25 minutes in. I'm thinking they might be spraying for blue beam purposes. A more reflective atmosphere might be what they need for their operation. Yeah, well, yeah, we got it's one of those theories, isn't it? And yeah, it's one of the first things you start to get into, isn't it? The last sentence sounded like the man from Art Bell. I don't know. It just did that autoplay to the next thing that things do, you know, when you want to play it. I tried to stop it in time, but I just missed it. So apologies for that. I'll probably cut that out of the Spotify audio only show. And this rambling I'm doing right now will make no sense. But it's a bit piercing to the ear when that kind of stuff happens, isn't it? Connor saying everyone hit that like button. That's right, guys. Like this video. It helps with the algorithm. It gets it out there. It shares it with more people. Yeah, let's get involved. But yeah, like I said, I do have some more stuff to share with you guys. Some more things I want to talk about. And I'm going to start. I'll start with just something silly. Just for fun. And someone showed me this video. Okay. And it might be a good idea if I just switch over here for a second. Turn that off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this video to the one that I want to play for you so you can get a decent enough view rather than screen sharing. So I'm going to use this one, and it's only 12 seconds, but just look at this. So robot-inspired footwear. Okay, futuristic approach to footwear. This is all about the shoes. Look at this guy walk here. Like, I don't know if he's doing that on purpose or if he has no choice to try and stay upright. He has to put the shoes on like that. I don't know, but LFC designer Dirk, what's his name? Dirk Vassen. This is the kind of stuff that always comes out of the fashion industry. It's absolutely ridiculous, you know. Anyway, I looked into the guy a little bit before this show and just to see what else he's done, to see if there's anything of value anywhere. And there isn't. There is literally nothing of value. And it's always fun to just rip into modern artists. So I'm gonna share with you guys what modern art is up to, because in terms of conspiracy, this relates to the degradation of beauty standards that the Western world is facing right now. We're having a crisis of art in the Western world, and what we used to have, which is standards, are gone. And it's thanks to people like this who are all circle jerking one another in the galleries, saying they were brilliant and wonderful, while taking part in some kind of weird money laundering scheme as product to move large amounts of money, no doubt. They are literally tearing apart the fabric of our civilization and what we perceive as beautiful. So that's why I personally would like to share this nonsense with you guys. But here's his website. Let's talk about his website and what he has to say and who he thinks he is. The absolute bollocks they talk to justify the shitty artwork as though it's something profound and deep, basically. And I you know, again, this is close to home. I have my degree in fine art. I'm passionate about this, guys. I'm going to swear. I'm going to get angry and annoyed because this is personal. So, showpieces are created in order to explore an individual's identity. The outcomes are based on an inherent feeling that people should always explore how they want to be human. These pieces are the inspiration for the products featured in the shop. So he creates these avant-garde ideas. So here's a toilet roll piece. Here's, I don't know what this is. This is just more toilet roll. So this guy is literally crap. He's telling you right now, like everything he does is related to things that people wipe their anuses with, you know. It may as well be toilet paper to him. And she painted her mouth to be wider than it should be, like a clown as well. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, look at this. What absolute gibberish. And this guy, he's going to try and tell you this is something profound and relates to the human experience in ways you're just not smart enough to understand, you know. Anyway, here's what you saw with the footwear. What a joke, right? What an absolute joke. It's some Nephilim clown stuff going on here, no doubt. I don't know what's going on here. But definitely some ancestor spirit channeling or something involved with this. What's this satanic pose going on here in this dark robe? I don't know. Completely impractical with just a hole at the front there, you know. You got this spicy little number. Is are those the things you put on armbands for children to blow them up? Yeah, so avant-garde, so brave, you know, so cutting edge, pushing boundaries, you know. Thanks to people like him, how would we know where the boundaries were? How would we know what to think and feel about fashion if it wasn't for avant-garde artists like this guy, like Dirk Vassen, you know? And at the end of the day, you go through this type of stuff and you see the way they present themselves and what they do, and then there's always something that gives it away at the end. It's kind of like, oh, this is a kink. This is a sex thing, isn't it? You're all just perverts and you've been given a megaphone. That's what this actually is. This has nothing to do with fashion. You're just a bunch of freaks. You're just a bunch of perverted freaks. That's what this really is. Like, you fantasized about being some kind of spectrum, like, cuboid prism gimp. That's what it was. And you've tried to just call it art. And some idiots have clapped along. So let's look at the shop. Let's look at the shop and see what this guy's actually selling. So, silhouette masks. Some kind of mask you can buy. How do you wear these things? I don't know. Doesn't make it clear. Where does this go? Does it go on the arm? You're supposed to wear this on your face? I don't know. Either way, you can buy this for the small price of 89 euros. Reasonable. But this guy's selling masks. Okay, and this alone is a huge red flag, because masks are what are used in ancestor spirit channeling worship rituals. So here's another modern artist taking ancestor spirit worship culture and trying to make money off of it, selling it something completely normal and reasonable. So these are decor pieces, aren't they? So I think you're supposed to just put them on the wall or something. Here it is, an egg holder, of course. Not even well made. I'm not gonna lie. That's a pretty crappy job with a pair of scissors he's done there. They're not even lining up properly. They don't even match. Like, his sewing skills leave much to be desired. I mean, I can do a better hem on a sewing machine than this guy. Look at that. It's not even straight. Like, yeah, this is crappy quality artwork made by a low quality, low intelligence, crappy artist with no skill or talent who's been put on a pedestal and gets to charge a lot of money for his crappy artwork because that's just the world we live in now. These people get elevated because they degrade our beauty standards, and that gets rewarded in this little season, in this time. That's what happens. That's how you get ahead. Act like a clown, you'll be treated like a god. Very simple. So, not much description in these leather masks. Again, it's definitely a gimp kink thing of some kind. I have no idea if it is or not, but I'm not buying that this isn't sexually charged in some way. This just reminds me of the plasticast anuses I used to see in one of the art shows that was done when I was a university student doing art. Like, more crap like this. Disgusting, really. Absolutely disgusting. So there's something funny, something ridiculous, something that gets paraded down the catwalks and applauded. And then when you try and find this guy collaborating with people, he slaps a bunch of clothes in the dirt outside and then hangs it up on a line in a house and calls it art. So yeah, the typical found art artists bullshit you find everywhere in the modern art schools today. He's just more of the same in collaboration. But look at the way they describe, look at the language they use, okay? This is where you find the nonsense. It's like, transform die Meldkammer into an interdisciplinary, physical and disorienting work that borders between design and performance, inspired by mazes, negative space, and the strong but vulnerable nature of paper. Dirk and Myra present a study that asks questions about the search for identity and the feasibility of a utopia. None of those words made any sense next to each other. That was what we call word salad, okay? That's how you justify your crap, as though it means something. You come up with a really pretentious sounding paragraph that uses words like interdisciplinary, feasibility, vulnerable nature, inspired by, negative space. You just say stuff and slap it all together as though it means something. Like, when you really think about it, questions about the search for identity and the feasibility of a utopia. What does that actually mean? Sit down and think about that. It doesn't mean anything. They're just words that sound smart put together to confuse you, trying to bamboozle you into thinking you're just too dumb to understand. But the con artists, the bullshit artists. Do you know how I know? I was one of them. I went to art school. I know the game. I just got sick of it. I was like, this cannot be what it is. This cannot be the industry I wanted to be a part of so much. It cannot just be full of these pretentious weirdos making stuff up about the crap they're creating. Surely there's depth somewhere. No. There's nothing. There's nothing there when you look under the curtain. When you actually look deeper, and they're as wide as perhaps a pretty big puddle. And they're about as deep as one too. They're useless. Multidisciplinary designer combines fashion digital media to explore how identity, politics, and social issues intersect. So what? You and everybody else, you freak. What an absolute weirdo. Yeah, the work means nothing. It means nothing, and it is nothing. And it's more just Nephilim channeling at the end of the day. That's all it really is. Like, all they do is just channel the Nephilim in the end, and then they get famous. They're just copying the ancestor spirit worship cults from all over the earth. I mean, what you see here is not dissimilar from African ancestor spirits worship. And we'll see what comes up with just some images randomly. It won't take long to find something very similar to what that guy was just wearing. Black and white lines, fractal patterns, masks. Maybe I've actually spelt it right. I might get something better. Yeah, there you go, something like this. Not dissimilar from what you just saw that this Dirk guy doing. This one here in his showpieces. Let's find the yellow one. Where was the yellow one? There it is. Yeah, that's not too dissimilar, is it, from what you just saw there? This yellow one to what this guy is doing here. It's because they're just copying. They're copying things. They're not unique. There's nothing new. They're not clever. They're not really that clever at all, to be honest. I wonder if they've got black and white. If I type in black and white. Oh, I'm getting black and white photos. Never mind. Yeah, but trust me, I've seen plenty of African ancestor spirit worship people dress exactly like this weirdo's doing right there. Have I lost it now? Have I lost it? Oh, I think I've lost it. Never mind. But still, creepy stuff. If you see my work, you know what this guy's doing. He thinks he's so deep. He thinks he's so clever. The Nightmare disorder creates worlds where boundaries between imagination and reality, fear and joy, individuality and othering are constantly explored, blurred and broken. Why does everything have to be blurred and broken? Why does everything have to be deconstructed? Why can't something just be? And it has intrinsic value and beauty because it simply is. Is that not possible? Like exploring themes such as East Asian identity, religion and migration, NASA combines drag with other art forms for storytelling across clubs, theatres, exhibitions and museums. I mean, it's all just left-wing liberal gibberish nonsense, isn't it? The character building is starting point for artistic projects. Their vision translates into multiple expressions and disciplines. Word salad. Mainly fashion and costume design, so whatever. So the guy dresses like a freaky looking clown and makes some weird noises and slaps his body around in toilet roll. And suddenly that means something. He's exploring some form of cross-cultural identity while deconstructing them, breaking what exactly? Nothing. It's ego-stroking bollocks is what it is. So there's the modern art scene. Something that pissed me off. Something that made me laugh. Made me cry. Sent me through the motions, really. Sent me on a whirlwind journey of exploration of self and understanding through a multidisciplinary form of video creation and audio mixing. And as you can see, I'm just doing what they're doing about what I just did. I made some scathing commentary on crappy modern art. So there we go, guys. I just wanted to share that with you. I'm thinking, just an idea. You're hearing it here first. I might start a second YouTube channel talking about modern art. I think I might do it. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. Just an idea. Let me know what you think. I think I might do it. And make some real like deep cut videos about it with like good graphics and audio and like takes, and I'll script it out and I'll do just scathing modern art reviews. I think I might do it. I think that could be fun. It's a side project when I get some time. Who knows? I think I could enjoy that. Would you all come along? I hope you would come along. Anyway, I'm back in the chat now, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. In the spirit of arts, I'm going to play another song and take another break before jumping back in. I can't go too long tonight, guys, because like I started the show quite late, so I might only go for maybe an hour and a half with this one. So maybe 20 minutes more. But what I will do is I'll play another song for you guys, another one of my old songs, just for something for you to listen to. And I don't know which one. I'm just looking here to see what I've actually, what I've got. And I've got a song about when I used to smoke weed. You probably don't want to hear that anymore. It's from the past. It's bad. I don't do that anymore. I've been touched this up in years. I don't want to encourage you to promote that on the channel. I've got a Gnarls Barkley Crazy cover. I've got something from my psychedelic tripping days. Maybe this one. Again, guys, the full disclaimer, some of the ideas and thoughts shared in this song are from a time where I was not a born-again Christian. So do not judge me based on myself 11 years ago, please. But here's a song I made called Change My Mind. So I guess I must have been going through something psychological at this point. But here's the song, guys. Enjoy this one. Something's gone wrong. Let me refresh the page. Again, I'll cut this out.
Here's a bit of banter with the lads.
I don't know what that is. Is that an advert? Do I have to listen to the advert? Is that what this is? Is that what's going on here? Am I not allowed? It is an advert. Okay. Oh no. When did that happen? I can no longer access my own music without listening to adverts. Things have changed, guys. Things have changed. I need to download these audios, to be honest, and actually use them. But while that's finishing off, I might get there in a second. They're unskippable ads as well. They are genuinely unskippable ads. A minute's worth of unskippable ads. Anyway, guys, that's about to come on soon, and I'll cut this out for the podcast people, the Spotify people, the live shows on YouTube. As you know, they have these issues. There's always something like this. I've got no control. So we'll have to let it play out as it is. But like I said, guys, this song, I think I can play it in a second. It's called Change My Mind. And I'm back. There we go. What do you think of that one? Yeah, that's one. I like that one. You know, I think again, I'm kind of still in my hippie-ish, weed smoking, psychedelic taking phase of my life when I was doing that. And you know, lightning coming out the ground is like a tree, you know, but it's just slow instead of super fast coming down. The stones on the ground look pretty, you know, because I'm tripping balls basically. What else is there? Talking about duality and smoking and basically being perpetually a broke art student at the time. Things very relative to my life at the time are in that song. But also a realization that we're being lied to about a lot of things. We're killing a lot of people abroad and all that sort of stuff is still on my mind at that time period. Very much coming out the back end of war in the Middle East, you know, that type of stuff. Yeah, it's funny. It's very nostalgic to look back on your old self, isn't it? And just think, what was I doing at that time? What was I thinking? But in terms of the music, the beat, I like that beat. It's just me on a guitar, by the way. I'm making the bass by whacking this part on the guitar, and then as I do an up strum, I come down and I slap my knuckle, and that's where you get the beat kind of going all the way through the whole thing. And it's very much inspired by Ride a White Swan by T-Rex, that kind of style. That's what I was kind of going for. I like that one. So, but again, the subject matter is perhaps not wholly holy, shall we say. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed it. So, moving on, another topic. I've got something else for you guys here. Another article I want to share. This one is, I'm going to get rid of all these stupid articles about arts that are up and in my way right now. And let's just get rid of the aerosol injection nonsense too. So there's this video going around. Have you seen it? Have you heard about this? Of a robot in China just going wild and attacking its programmers. And it's doing the rounds, and it made me laugh when I saw it. And I think even the Quartering talked about this. So I don't know. But I'll just read the article to you guys, and I'll share with you as we go through it. I think it's just something to bring to mind about how soon our robot overlords are going to come and destroy us all. So here it is. Here's a random article I found from NDTV World. I don't know what this is, but it has the video either way, so it's useful. So AI robot attacks worker during testing in Chinese factory, machine uprising. A chilling incident in a Chinese factory has sparked debate after a CCTV video showed a humanoid robot lashing out at its handlers, raising concerns about the potential risks of artificial intelligence. The footage, widely shared on social media, has fueled fears about the rapid advancement of robotics and AI. In the video captured at a Chinese factory, a Unitree H1 humanoid robot suspended from a construction crane suddenly malfunctioned, sparking fears about the safety and reliability of advanced robotics. The footage shows two men observing the robot's movements with caution, seemingly testing its capabilities. However, the robot abruptly loses control, wildly flailing its arms and legs in a chaotic display reminiscent of a sci-fi horror scene. As the men scramble to avoid the robotic's erratic movements, it lurches forward, dragging its stand and sending a computer and other items crashing to the floor. One of the men eventually intervenes, attempting to stabilize the robot by repositioning its stand. So let's watch it, shall we? Let's go. Let's just turn the sound off. Let's full screen this as much as I can. I don't know what you guys are missing actually if I do that. Never mind. We won't full screen it. But this thing, look, it just starts karate chopping away and ripping itself away from its cords, and it seems to like lock onto some guy, like, you, I'm coming for you. And then he just, he gets a bit overexcited, loses the plot, and the guy pulls it back. Let's watch that again, just for posterity. Look at this thing. I think you guys get a decent enough view, so I'm going to do full camera. Yeah, look, they're just like talking to each other, just chatting, and then this thing moves its arms a little bit, and then it just goes nuts. Look at that thing. Now, if you had got hit by one of those arms, it probably would have snapped your bones, right? Because it's fully metal. That thing's moving with some serious force. When you actually watch it, yeah, it's got some force behind it, man. Like, this thing is like really like just kicking off. Like, I would not like to have been hit by that long arm of the robot. Like, it probably would have, it easily would have snapped the arm, like, easily. And then it makes you realize, oh yeah, these robots we're building are made of metal. Like, this is a sobering reminder that if they did want to like attack us, we wouldn't stand a chance. This is it, you know. The incident has sparked fears of a robot uprising, with many viewers drawing parallels to the Terminator franchise, wondering if machines are on the cusp of taking over. Unitree robots have made headlines multiple times due to various incidents. In February this year, shocking footage captured a humanoid robot going rogue and charging at a crowd of festival goers. The video, taken at the Spring Festival Gala in Tianjin, North China, showed the robot, clad in vibrant jacket, suddenly lunging towards a group of stunned onlookers gathered behind a barricade. There have been previous cases of rogue AI making headlines, including an instance where a robot attacked an engineer at Tesla's Texas factory. In many of these cases, software malfunctions have been identified as the underlying cause, highlighting the importance of robust testing and quality control in AI development. So it comes down to software problems. I think if only it was that simple. I want to find this this footage of, so what was it? Let's find the exact scenario. Spring Festival Gala. Let's just type in crazy robot. Robot attack. And let's see what we find here. Have we got an article here? Is that a video? It really did just nut the guy, didn't it? It went in for it. It's like, come at me, bro. And the guy's like, leave it, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You're better than that. Just leave it, man. Like, you starting something? You want some? You want some? So passive, isn't it? Oh, that's so odd. That looks so strange. But meanwhile, this guy's like hobbling in the background here, saying, "What's going on, bro?" Like, this robot comes over, looking concerned for its pal. It's like, everything all right? Okay, it's not as extreme as kind of making it out, are they? Like, but this one is pretty scary. This one is pretty extreme. Like, this thing really just going all out. I heard rumors or ideas that the truth is, this guy here, you see, has programmed the robot to attack this guy down here who's looking away, because this guy down here has been sleeping with this guy's wife. All right, and he was hoping the robot would take him out, but it was a failed attempt. I've heard people layering their own narratives over this and trying to figure out what's the same robot though, isn't it? That nutted that woman in the other video. Yeah, it's like, it looks like it's really going for him. It's like, I want to kill you. Get back here. Why is this thing holding me back? What's this string? It's like it's realized it's been hindered by a stand. And he's like, nope, let's pull that thing back. And then it just stops. It just stops as soon as the guy intervenes, which I thought was odd as well. So yeah, what do you think of that, guys? I'm going to jump back into the chat now with you guys, but that's just something I saw, which just like, okay, it's happening, you know. But again, I think what we should at least take away from that is that robotics are coming to a point now, at least publicly, where they can cause some damage, like easy damage, like a humanoid robot, if going haywire, is more powerful than a human going haywire because it's made of metal. By that alone, that standard alone. But if it's got the same dexterity as a human, and it seems like his limbs could do quite a bit of stuff there, you know. And that's pretty scary stuff. It's pretty scary. And if it's going to randomly square up to women and just bop them in the face quickly with the head just because they looked at it funny, like we're in serious trouble. That's what I'm going to say there. Yeah. Anyway, back in the chat. Let's see what's going on. What do people have to say of this? There's more than one video of this happening. It became self-aware and freaked out. Yeah, it's like it's having a bit of a freak out, doesn't it? That's true. That's true. Lash out mode will be on all robots. Yeah. Or a demon possessed it. It's fair game. Could be. A kid in America has a robot that tells him to keep the light on because it doesn't like the dark. Then says, "Thank you, Dad." Oh, that's creepy. All humans must be unalived. Something like that. It's alive and it's afraid and terrified. It does seem like yeah. It definitely looks like it's acting like a cornered animal would act, doesn't it? That's for sure. Because it woke up in China, says Brad. That's a good take. I like that. Miles is saying, "I'm a real boy." The company, they used the excuse that the wires from the crane arm interfered with its circuits, as opposed to saying it was evil. Well, I'm not an engineer. I don't know what happened. All I know is it's proving that if these things did lose control, they would snap us into pieces very quickly. Like, they have that power and strength behind them. Like, can we at least make them brittle and weak? Can we, just for our own fail-safe safety, can we make it so they're made of like rubber and they are of styrofoam or something, and the skeletal structure has the consistency of I don't know, cheap thin plastic or something like that? Wouldn't that be better for all of us? I don't know. The robot movie, I did not unalive him, Paul. Okay. Yeah, the iRobot movie is like, I did not murder him. It's something like that. I remember that. Yeah, and it slams his fist down with emotion in rage. I remember. As Brian would say, it's demons, bro. It's demons. It's pretty sus. That's my best Brian impression right now. Nah, it's demons, bro. I'm telling you, it's demons. What else have we got? Squirt guns. Grab your Super Soaker 2000 from your attic. That would sort it out, wouldn't it? Yeah, just get a bit of water on the thing. Laughing. We're laughing all the way to the bank with that one. Imagine your blank doesn't enjoy the ride. I can't say that out loud. This is the family show. We don't talk about that kind of stuff. I think sometimes that the Sands of Seaverse... Okay, that's off topic right now. And most likely, as we can see, they are creating these things for war, and it may not be just aimed at us. So, well, I suppose if interdimensional Nephilim hordes appeared in all their clown glory and started attacking us and eating us, I would hope these robots are on our side by that point. I would hope so. Strap another gun to one of those dog robots and we're laughing again. That's the Liam Gallagher robots. I like the humor you guys are injecting into this scenario. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. We'll need to carry small EMP devices instead of pepper spray. That's true, yeah. A taser might do the job, right? A well-placed taser on one of these things. Ghost in the machine. Attempted murder by a robot. We should put them in the military. Yeah, well, yeah. The scary stuff, bro. 4 robots that unalive a whole lab in Japan a few years back. Really? Linda Multihole speaks about 4 robots that unalive a whole lab. I've not heard about that one, Sean. I'll have to look into that one. God's fury came through that robot and was attempting righteous judgment on that worker. Okay, that's one way to interpret it, isn't it? Maybe. You have to ask, why did China, of all places, allow this video to be released? I was thinking the same thing, Rusty. Actually, I was genuinely thinking, it's like, why have they let this out? Why would you leak this footage of your product being defective? Like, when you really think about it, like, that's not something a corporation would do. Unless it's part of a grander narrative of fear or mind control. It's like, look at what we've got, guys. Look what we're working on. This could be you. You could get hurt by these things. You better stay in line, or else we'll unleash the bots onto you, or something like that. Because China has been releasing robots into the police recently. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Okay, so I showed this in one of my other shows, but China police robots are real now. They're actually 100% out there, doing their thing on a regular basis, patrolling the streets in many ways. There's even a spherical version which looks very, very creepy. But if I share this with you, yep, it's already happening. China just launched its first real robotic AI police. I shared the clip from this video actually. But no, it is happening. Here's a ball spinning down, which you could probably easily attach guns to the side of. Here's one of these things. What's it doing? Is it doing like a fist? Well, that guy can shut up. But yeah, you get the gist. Like, it's just... Yeah. They're real. And they're like... The thing is, they're like 4 foot tall. I don't know why they've made them so short. Like, is it to be less threatening or something? I don't know. Look at this. Look at this thing. It's like 4 foot tall. And apparently they're used to help lost children... scan areas, make sure people are parking long enough and stuff like this. It's like, why have they made it 4 foot tall? It's so odd. It's so bizarre. But yeah, they have robot police now in China. So maybe it's a means of saying you better stay in line or the robot could lash out, Like, maybe it's a fear thing. I don't know. I'm just guessing here now. I actually have no idea at all why they would release that video or allow it to happen. You wouldn't, would you? You just wouldn't, realistically. So maybe we're supposed to see it, I think. That's for sure. Like what Elon did with smashing the Tesla window. I'm behind on that. I didn't catch that when it happened. I'm not sure 100% what you're referring to there, I'm afraid. Maple syrup destroys electronic objects, Paul, and people. Most sugar syrups destroy electronics. Okay, then we'll bear that in mind. We could put some into our water guns while we're at it. Shorter is cheaper, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. They're small to begin with, but wait till they're like 12 feet tall. Yeah, tell me about it. This is literally Generation Zero of video game, says Cult of Con. Yeah, they're definitely playing out a lot of their own pre-programmed scripts here, that's for sure. Give people something to talk about so they focus on these mediocre fake news issues. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, says Mikasi. Yeah, I think they're probably like 20 years ahead, realistically, of what we publicly see. Way ahead. I do think that some of this is propaganda to keep people from embracing the potential manufacturing with respect to repetitive tasks. Maybe, because obviously robots can do these things indefinitely. That's true. They want the robot to be shorter than them. Like, we'll see how long that lasts, though, like Connor was saying. It's definitely propaganda, yeah. What's up with the empty cities in China, says Rocky Shepherd. If you're interested in that topic, go to my last Truth or Therapy session from Sunday. I had Tony from God Rules on, and we discussed the empty cities. We went through it for quite a while, so go have a check of that episode if you haven't seen it already. We discussed the empty cities in China. I think there's multiple reasons. I think a lot of people were killed with the whole 2020 situation. I think a lot of people were forced to take the thingy into the system as a protection against the other thing that we're not allowed to talk about. And I think that's killed a lot of people. I think they put poisons in them. Apparently, I've heard that idea. I think also the one-child policy has finally come to fruition, and older generations have died. We're leaving the population pretty much just gone quickly, very quickly, and that's how it works. Once the generation's gone, a mass of people disappear all at once, you're left with a very small population. I think it's all come up to bite them on the ass with that policy too. I think a lot of people have left the cities because there's no work. So they've gone back to the countrysides, but also a lot of the countrysides are empty as well. So it's a mass of many things. But yeah, I think there's also someone mentioned a comment, which is very, very, I remember this one. I thought it was a great comment. But there is an old Chinese understanding about the art of war that you should always make your enemies think you have more people than you actually do. Like it's kind of you can play that con. You can always trick people into thinking you have way more than you actually do. And there's a whole story about a general. I think he vacated his whole city, and I think there was only one person there or something like that. And I think they stormed the city and saw no one was there but one person. And as soon as they saw that one person, they backed out very quickly and ran because they thought they were being ambushed. It's some kind of trick they played. I think they also played there was other examples of these art of war situations where they made out they had way more soldiers than they actually did. And I think perhaps this is some kind of thing China played a long time ago, fudging the numbers on their systems to make it seem as though there was billions of them when really there's only maybe like 500 million, to instill fear into the worldwide enemies on the game board. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't know. It's an interesting idea though. It's an interesting concept. A lot of Chinese were crossing the southern border past few years too. Yeah, so a lot of them are leaving as well, just leaving China en masse. And that is happening too. Paul, have you looked into this new weird Maitreya, the Mahdi guy, saying he's the successor of Jesus? Yeah, that guy's been around for a while doing that. He's not actually new. He's just new to people because he did a speech with a slightly better camera quality. It looks like the guy might have been using, I don't know, a 50mm lens instead of the standard one that comes with the kit camera. I don't know what's going on. He did a speech, didn't he, where people are listening to him for some reason. And now everyone thinks he's like the Antichrist revealed. He's not. He's just a con artist. He's been at this for a long time. I think he used to make videos about something else, and then he realized, I think, exposing cults. And then he realized there's actually a lot of money to be made by starting a cult. And I think he started a cult. I think that's what happened from what I heard, like loosely. Paul, I can't find the video of you and Tony. God rules. Where is that posted? Well, you know what, guys? I can get the video of you right now and post the link straight in the chat. For those of you who are wondering what's going on here, it's my Truth or Therapy sessions. Every Sunday live show. So it's under the live tab on my channel. If you don't know, that's a feature. Every YouTube channel has many tabs, videos, and live. They're two separate things. And if you watch my content, I have lots of videos I've uploaded. But if you click the live tab, there are hundreds of live shows there, including this one right now, which you'll find under there. But I'll find the one with Tony from God Rules. I've got the link, get shareable link, and I'm going to share that in the chat right now. There it is. And I'm also going to pin that one to make it a lot easier for you to see. And there you go, guys. You now have the link to my talk with Tony from God Rules about the population in China. Yeah. That's what Creed from The Office says. What did I miss there? I've watched The Office. What did he say? Oh yeah. What does he say? He said, I remember he says, I've been in many cults in my time. You make a lot of money being a cult leader, but being a members have more fun. I think is what he said. Yeah, something like that. He has to be paying his cult members because he sucks, frankly. I know, right? Like, if he is so insufferable. He has a very punchable face, doesn't he? The way he holds himself and that stupid hat he wears. It's like, what are you doing? What a joke. Anyone's even fallen for that. I think he has like a YouTube channel with maybe 10,000 subscribers when I first saw him. Probably less originally before he made himself go viral with some spooky video. But yeah, he's nobody. He's nothing. Just forget about him. Pay him no attention. He is absolutely a nobody, nothing. It's simple. Everyone's honking for some reason. He's got some strange narrative, and whatever he is talking about is questionable. That's right. The betrayer dude needs to walk across a bay to get my attention, says James. That's right. Tony is sound. Yeah, Tony's an old friend. I connected with him a couple of times. The last time I talked with him years ago, we were talking about the Las Vegas shooting. Do you remember that? And that was on one of my very first Truth or Therapy sessions. I invited him on years ago. I was talking like 8 years ago here. And then I invited him back on again recently to talk about all sorts of things. So you can see him on my channel again. He's there. And he invited me on his as well to talk about the little season theory. So I went on there and talked with him. And then the other day I just needed a guest. And Dr. Hugh actually reminded me that Tony's available. I can just message him anytime. I said, hey, man, do you want to come on and give me your take about the China stuff? Because you just talked about it. He's like, yeah, sure. I got some time. And he just came on and that was it. It was done. It was nice to catch up with the guy. Yeah. He's actually making a game about Noah's Ark right now and the flood and the pre-flood world. It's something like that. I think it's a virtual reality game. He's working with his developers right now and in the midst of making a video game, a biblical video game that actually has quality behind it. So let's see how that pans out. That should be fun. I recently saw a show with the guy that wrote the book Mandela Effect in the Bible. He had nothing but nice things to say about you. What do you feel about the Bible being affected by the Mandela Effect? You're talking about Wake Up or Else channel. Is that you're talking about? The guy who wrote the Conspiracy Theorist Survival Guide, John Kerwin. Is that what you're talking about? Just let me know if that's who you're on about. Yeah, John's a good friend. I've known him for a while now. He's been on my channel. I've been on his. Yeah, we've talked back and forth. I had him on to talk about the Mandela Effect. I respect his work on the Conspiracy Theorist Survival Guide because of my Truth or Therapy sessions. It's very similar in vein and theory and idea. So yeah, I've talked to John. He seems to be doing his own thing out there right now, and he seems to be improving his production quality. Nice guy, good friend. Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about him. I don't know what to make about the Mandela Effect. I withhold the right to make a judgment on that. I've been there since the beginning. I've been following it, and I certainly have moments where I'm Mandela affected. But I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's a long con psychological operation or if it's a real spiritual thing that's happening to us in some psychedelic manner that I can't understand or get my head around. But he's adamant about the Bible changes. And personally, I think the word of God is Jesus Christ, not a book. So I'm okay if the Bible changes. And I think that's why the word is written on our hearts, because of the malleability of physical reality these days. So there we go. That's kind of what my initial take. So if it is being biblically changed through the Mandela Effect, I'm okay. It doesn't affect me. I'm not bothered because I know who Jesus is and I walk in his way. Mike Guerra, thanks for the super chat. Unrelated theory, but the boats were silicon trees that were harvested to create the Roman concrete. Why can't we replicate? Because the means to do so isn't there anymore. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think before fervent heat destruction even before the flood, there was different types of life, perhaps more silicon-based and carbon-based under different conditions. And I think the Earth has gone through many stages where it's lost things, it hasn't gained things, like silicon life, for example, and silicon trees. I think they've been taken away from us as the Earth has got more corrupted over each passing millennia and generation, that's for sure. Wendy gave the cue for us to honk, blame her. No blame, that's cool. They've all come to Australia, the Chinese, is that what you're saying? I read a comment that made me laugh. He can't be the Antichrist because he has the personality of a cardboard box. That's right, he does, I know. Pearl disagrees with John. Mandela effect gets more and more real. And credibility every year, Paul. Okay, I mean, I guess so. But then it's kind of like, well, do we fully understand yet why it's happening? If it is, everyone's got their own idea. Everyone's got their own opinion on it. So I'm open to hear them all, to be honest. It's definitely been messed with, but the message is still there. I remember that you possibly talked about the books being out of chronological order in your last podcast. I'm not sure that was me who talked about that. Maybe it was. I forget. I say a lot of things. I remember most of what he does. I see the changes. Yes, it's a bit of a dividing issue, isn't it? The Mandela effect one. I don't think we should let it divide us at all. Silicon doesn't decay the same rate as carbon, says Culticon. Interesting. Never heard of silicon trees. Yeah, well, they're not around anymore. That's what we're saying. Let God speak through your heart. The stubborn donkey that is your brain will eventually get the memo. That's true. God allowed Satan to deceive us. So if the Mandela effect is part of being deceived, then yeah. Interesting take. America has become the iron beast which tramples the nations. Is that a quote specifically from something, Connor, that I don't know about? I'm not 100% sure. But either way, guys, I'm going to end the show there because it's been going longer than I would like. It's past midnight for me now. I am tired. I am sleepy. I've shown you everything I think I could cram into this show in the time we have. There was one article about AI therapy, which I never got around to. So I'm sorry about that. I'll probably remove it from the thumbnail and the title if it's there. But I'll quickly show you this. So apparently a lot of people are turning to AI for therapy now. And Mark Zuckerberg is pushing this through his own means. And people are saying this is a bad idea, basically. It's a very bad idea for many, many reasons. And I think we'll maybe go into a different show some other time, guys, because I am going to have to leave this here. So I do apologize. But thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Like I said, go and check out the podcast I was just on. I'll leave the links down below. That is on their channel still as well. You can go watch it. But like I said, thanks for your support with the Sam Tripoli one. I really appreciate it. I'll be coming back on Sunday. I think someone wants me to do an interview for a documentary they're doing about psychedelics. And do want me to talk about my perspective with the Nephilim clowns. So that's quite interesting. I think it's a university project documentary or something like that, but I'm happy to help. I think I'm doing that on Sunday. And then after that, I'll jump on with you guys and we'll do the Truth of Therapy sessions. I don't know what the topic's going to be yet. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll get a guest. Maybe I won't. I'm winging it, guys. I'm always winging it. I'm glad you're here to wing it with me too. I really appreciate it. So yes, guys, thanks for listening. If you want a signed copy of the Nephilim Look Like Clowns, the fresh batch has just come in today. I have about 12 available, hardback and paperback, half and half there. Message me at understandingconspiracy@gmail.com and I can mail that out to you anywhere in the world. Just let me know if you want a copy and pay through the PayPal and it's yours. So there we go, guys. Thanks for that. Thanks for listening. I'll end with another song of mine. We'll end this with a song. I don't know which one I'm going to pick, but it's going to be one of the ones I wrote from years ago, from a time before I was saved, so please forgive me. But I'll play you a song, and as always, God bless. Bye.